As soon as you saw it, it's called an accidental handball because his arm wasn't open, but still a penalty. So could you give us your view of, because you had the privileged view of that moment?
Yeah, as soon as I control the ball, I just try to shoot quick as possible, and then I saw his arm a little bit away of his body. That's why I asked for the handball, and then the ref gave to us, and then we score.
And how's it been under Liam? Because you've played as a 10 and you played as a 9, but what are the differences that you felt so far?
Yeah, I think now he's gonna use me more as a 9, but in the build-up I can be a 10. So yeah, I just try to do my best for the team. And Liam, he's the gaffer who always electric, always want us to play with intensity, and I think this has helped us to win the games.
Yeah, it's sure working well for you, scoring and player of the match. Well done, João.
Thank you.
Of the 4:30, let's just show you what that does to the table. Chelsea go above Liverpool into 4th, 9 points behind Aston Villa. Villa now 10 ahead of Liverpool, 11 ahead of Manchester United going into that 4:30. And if we switch to the bottom half, you can see how bunched up it is now. Forest back to 5 points ahead of West Ham, but level with Leeds and Crystal Palace, and you may well say Spurs as well, when you look at the number of points, are being dragged into this. And Gary, we will look at that here in the studio. When we go back to that first goal, it was going so well for Palace, they were comfortable, and then they shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, they didn't. It was just organisation at the back, really, a little bit of a mix-up. You've got Brennan Johnson taking the kick. He's now in a defensive position here. Tyrick Mitchell here. Canvo on the side. He's in an attacking position initially, but his pass is just... God knows what he's thinking there, really. But the position of Mitchell, as Gary mentioned, at half-time is just so poor. But from Esteban, it is brilliant. He doesn't even give Mitchell an opportunity to think, should I make a tackle or not? Because you're always thinking, aren't you, in that situation, red card. So for him, absolutely fantastic. And Gary, to finish.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, he's just taking it away from the defender. It's so difficult for the defender to get tight, to get any sort of challenge in there. But yeah, sloppy goal on from Palace's point of view.
And then this was a well-taken goal by João Pedro. Cambo actually played him onside in the build-up to this, Gary, as well.
It was, yeah. Shown composure there, hasn't he? The chop inside. And I think I've been there myself in Wharton's position. When you turn big and you turn your back on the ball, you just lose that yards, and it ends up that he's 2-3 yards away, and it's a simple finish for João Pedro. I thought it was excellent second half.
Let's look at the penalty then and the build-up to it. And Darren, England giving this. Now, we are told, Jamie, that if the ball is going goalwards and is going in, then that's why they give accidental handball and a yellow card. Because the fact that we are told it's heading towards the goal, so it negates other factors. We have been told that.
We've been told that. It reminds me a little bit a couple of weeks ago of the Verts one at Fulham, where they tell you that it's right and the lines are a bit thick and think, oh, this is the first time I've ever heard that. And it almost feels like the first time I've ever heard that situation there. And also the yellow card. I mean, listen, whether OK, if they're saying that that's in the rule, OK, fine. It does hit his arm. It does stop the ball going towards the goal. So, OK, give a penalty. I don't understand why you get yellow carded for. I mean, what's he supposed to do? But, so, I mean... You know, they'll say if it was deliberate, a red card, yeah, but if it's not deliberate, we give a yellow card. It's just either a red card if it's deliberate. Yes. If it's not deliberate, there's no yellow card.
Because you can't do anything about it.
Nothing. Ridiculous.
But in the laws, they say, well, non-deliberate is yellow. But if you don't know you're doing it, how do you get punished for doing something that you don't know what you've done, if that makes sense?
Honestly,
bizarre, Gary.
I don't like it. I didn't like it at the time. I don't like it when I've seen it back. Now, there's certain angles that don't back up my argument. There was the fact of, from a defensive point of view, you're asking me to close you down as a striker with my arm here. It has to be. Because if it's here and it hits the body first and then the arm, surely the arm's in a natural position is my argument. So you're asking me to defend you like this. Yeah. If you don't take the shot straight away and you move the ball, I'm having to shut you down and move like this. It's so unnatural. I wasn't happy with it, to be honest. I don't think it was a penalty. But as you've just read out,
And then we hammer defenders, don't we, Gary? If they're there with their hands behind the back, then we hammer them for constantly walking around like that.
But there's a situation to block the ball where you might be a little bit like this. If you don't shoot first time and move the ball, then do I just keep running around like this? It's so unnatural. It's unbelievable. You'd naturally come out to block the ball. If his arm's here, I understand. The fact it's hit him here, or on the side, sorry, on his hip, and then hit his hand, is so harsh from my point of view.
John Terry would be knackered playing now, wouldn't he?
The also fact of the matter is Chelsea were 2-0 up at that stage, and Liam Rosenior can take a lot of comfort for how they dealt with that second half, Chelsea.
Chelsea, very good second half. Yeah, I was impressed second half. They stepped it up another gear. They controlled periods of the game. They were tidier on the ball, which is what I said at half-time. I was hoping they would be, and yeah, credit to Liam Rosenior and the Chelsea team. Another 3 points in the league for them.
I suppose if Oliver Glasner's going to take anything from this, is 3-0 they didn't give up and they were still trying to go for it. And even when they pulled one consolation back, they were like, let's go again, Jamie.
Yeah, I was speaking to Gary. We've been in that situation ourselves as sort of defenders where you're cruising and all of a sudden it feels a little bit panicky once this goal goes in. I mean, the goalkeeper's furious with Enzo Fernandez because he ends up on the floor and trips him up. That's who he comes running to here. Look, I mean, it's just listen, that's the frustrations. He wants his clean sheet. As I said, we've both been there as defenders. But you're not hanging on, but it's a little bit more nervous towards the end of the game. But that's natural.
And Oliver Glasner will be furious, you would have thought, with Adam Wharton's second yellow card because of the next game that he will miss.
Yeah, I think it's Nottingham Forest, isn't it? They play next. And when you're starting to look at the table, that's looking like a very important game for Crystal Palace. He's on a yellow card. He knows he is. And as soon as you go to the floor, go to the ground, you've got a huge problem. There wasn't a lot of contact in it, but as I said, the referee's got no option.
2 yellows in 5 minutes for Adam Wharton, so big win for...
Tim Howard, Robbie Earle, Rebecca Lowe with you. Well, really good win for Chelsea. That's 4 wins out of 5 now for Liam Rosenior. You have to say it's a decent amount to start making a judgment that he started very well.
Absolutely, and I think Liam Rosenior's pretty much worked out that people are going to have an opinion about his personality, but his job is to win football matches, and he won a football match today. His team were reasonably well set up. They weathered a little bit of storm that Crystal Palace came with, and they had the outstanding individual in Esther Val, who scored a goal, created another, and is a special talent that he's going to have to manage. But the more you see of him, the better this kid gets.
Could Palace go down?
Yes. Yes, they could, because the club is in a position of crisis. I think, Oliver Glasner's trying to get some calm, but if they don't get the spirit back that Crystal Palace are about, I'm not talking about the football and scoring and defending, I'm talking about the spirit. If the spirit goes from this football club, it could be a long sort of second half to the season.
Similar shortness of spirit for Aston Villa, back to winning ways and level on points for City. How did they get on then against Newcastle with their victory?
Well, you asked me about them going up to St James Park, which is a tough place to play, and at some points they were playing brilliant football, literally just sort of carving Newcastle open. Again, Ollie Watkins. Anytime Ollie Watkins is at the end of a play, it's good for Villa. Buendia was really good, really talented, as we know, in terms of what he has in his locker, but he knit things together. They were on top of the game. They weren't really ever looking like they were hanging on. Really good performance, and gets them that much closer.
Just real quick, Tammy Abraham.
Welcome back. So, Liam Rosenior's second Premier League game in charge of Chelsea at half-time is 1-0 against Crystal Palace, which we'll show you in a moment. Their only effort on target, incidentally. However, before that, Palace with a better team. Could they have been in front through Jean-Philippe Mateta?
Oh, well, certainly should have. This is a really big miss.
8 minutes in.
Big miss. He's got half the goal to aim at. I mean, obviously, we've got one of the world's best goalkeepers in, so he can talk about the goalkeeper. But from a centre-forward's point of view, he's hit that right in the middle of the goal from about 8 yards out. And the old saying, oh, hit the target all the time. No, you don't hit the target. You hit the corners. That's why you're a professional footballer. That's an easy finish.
But this is, like we're talking about Sanchez before, about some of the mistakes he makes. But this is good because he's got an option of making 2 saves. So he goes to his left, saves it with his right. It's a good foot save.
And then Chelsea break, Owen, and the 18-year-old.
How good is this kid? It's ridiculous. I mean, he is amazing. Running into space, obviously, Palace make a massive mess of it, and you'll see it here. The young lad, he's obviously playing because Gayhe's at Man City. You look at Mitchell, he looks across, but he can't get in this position. Can he, Mo? He's just...
No. Do you think that he's blocked as well? In terms
from seeing the past?
From seeing the past, does he see Esteval there? I just wonder whether, because he's right behind Mitchell, I wonder whether he's blocking his sight. And he plays the ball. He certainly doesn't know Esteval is there. And it's a lovely. I thought he was going to cut across him, but he backed his pace, didn't he? He kept going in the same direction and pulled it back. And by doing that, you create a new angle for yourself in terms of finishing. It's a really good finish.
David, we were defenders and goalkeepers. We think hope for the best, plan for the worst. Mitchell's not planning for the worst.
No, he's overcommitted, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He did have a look. We highlighted the little glance over to Brennan Johnson. He possibly, maybe, thought he could cover, but he was very wrong because he got done.
Now, 80 seconds prior to the goal, this incident happened involving Neto and Sarr. What did we think at the time, David?
When I first saw this, I was like, that's a deliberate stamp. And apparently VAR have had a look at it, and what was it they said?
Minimal contact.
Minimal contact, but that's deliberate. So has he really got to hurt him to warrant a red card? I find that strange that no action was taken, and it weren't too long after that, like you say.
80 seconds later, yeah. Is Pedro Neto lucky here?
Very. To be fair, he's not that type of player. He's a great player, and he's normally lovely, but he's meant that as well, by the way. I know that Dave makes a good point. There's not a lot of contact, but he's meant it, so I have no idea how they haven't made a different decision.
Yeah, there's intent, isn't there? There's intent to stamp. And does it matter, taking it to the extreme, do you need to really injure somebody to say, oh, there's intent there, or there's force? So I think it's intentional, it's a stamp, he's a lucky boy.
Well, Chelsea lead at Selhurst Park at the break by a 1-0, but this is all down to Crystal Palace and how they defended this, isn't it?
Absolute mess from Crystal Palace's point of view, but brilliant goal from young Esteval. We mentioned him before the game. As I said, he looks a really special talent. You look at the situation behind the ball. Wharton, Brennan Johnson taking the kick, and Mitchell here at the back. So it's almost like a 3-on-1, if you like. OK, now Adam Wharton goes to support, as he should do. He has a little look there, Mitchell, and doesn't speak. Yeah. This sums up footballers now. No communication. Brennan Johnson in that position, if he's going to get tight, has got to come round on the cover, and you're absolutely fine. But what he sees here, who he's passing that to, because he looks up and has a look. Mitchell's not there. But Gary, from Chelsea's point of view.
From Chelsea's point of view, it's great. It's great forward play by Esteval. He keeps it on the outside of Mitchell the whole way. Comes across the pitch. I've played with Mitchell. He's a fast defender.
But look at this here now. Does well, uses his body. Adam Wharton's maybe thinks too close. He looks up. What he sees, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't understand that either.
Because his head's up the whole time. He's not looking down.
I think I was right in what he says in terms of Tyreek being able to communicate and obviously have somebody covered around, but I also feel that Tyreek can give himself 2 or 3 yards. Yeah. Like I've just said, I've played with him, he's quick. He doesn't need to be as tight as he is, especially when he finds himself as the last man, but...
Is it hard not to dive in there? Because you know if you do and get it wrong, you're going to get a red card.
As in to slide, to block? I was wondering if he was going to. I mean, you obviously run the risk of the little chop inside and whatever else, but I just think it was great forward play from that moment onwards.
I don't think Esteval actually gave him the chance to make the challenge. Yeah. I don't think sometimes you have the opportunity, you think, can I get the ball? Can I put a challenge in? He was so good at keeping the ball, as basically his body in between, the defender and the ball. Brilliant from Esteval.
Crystal Palace were fairly comfortable, weren't they, really, in most of that half? Having said that, they didn't rip Chelsea apart. This is their only shot on target in that first half.
No, they did start well. They started the game well, and obviously a mistake by Badiashile should have been punished. Mateta through one-on-one. What I would say is it is a good save, but he shouldn't have seen it. I think Mateta will clearly be disappointed with this one-on-one. 7 yards out, you would expect him to score from that. But I feel that we were saying, weren't we, just before the goal, Crystal Palace will be quite happy and content the way they started the game. I thought Chelsea, by all accounts, was sloppy in possession. They gave a lot of balls away, cheap possession. They gave away. Pressing was so-so, and I thought Crystal Palace would have been the happier of the two, apart from the goal.
Apart from the goal.
Yeah, I mean, he's always had a very good reputation as a coach. This is nothing new. You speak to people within the game, and they've always spoke highly of Liam. I mean, he's got a big job early in his career, which is great for him, and he's obviously going to prove one way or the other now. What I have noticed, 2 things, in and out of possession. Out of possession, he's playing a lot of man-to-man. We look at a couple of clips here. Even a centre-half, let's say, would be pushing and pushing and pushing. This is Chalobah in this situation, but they will stick man-to-man throughout. It won't be passing on or anything else like that. So we saw a centre-half in Chalobah there. We see Cucurella in this situation, happy to vacate their position at left-back. And most people would now say, right, that's a midfielder's job, but no, he continues. He leaves his job. Garnacho sort of fills in for him. Whether I'd be trusting Garnacho to play in a left-back is another question. But you see Cucurella is still highlighted here, and he stays there till the end. Until Chelsea win the ball, he will stay there. Now, this might pose a problem in future. You know, a Garnacho playing at left-back, if that ball went over the top. He wasn't too aware by this run there, put it that way. So we will see whether it hinders them in time, but we can just see a little brief snapshot of what they're doing out of possession. In possession, they're playing a lot inside, when they're playing into central areas. This one worked, but you can suggest, or maybe, you know, sense that it might not work all the time.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is if you lose the ball there, you've got the easy pass out to Cucurella. Most teams would take that, but you try and slide it into these tight spaces. In a big game, that's a turnover. And if you want to be a world-class team, you have to minimize mistakes. That is kind of forcing mistakes. This is a really young team and a talented team, I agree. If he gets time, they could be something really special. I think the goalkeeping situation still needs to be addressed. And the big question Liam has is he going to get time? Chelsea could grow into win the Premier League. I do believe that with all these young talents that they have. They have some special players. If you look at that team there, you know, you think about Caicedo and Estevao. You know, Neto's been their best player. Pedro is super talented. Enzo is super consistent. The goalkeeper they need to fix. And I just hope Liam gets time because he is a very good coach. But I think he has to adjust his tactics as well. It's nice to have a plan. You need a plan B if it's not working. I think with him being so clear on how he wants to play in and out of possession, teams are going to see that and look at that and make a game plan for that. And if you're jumping into midfield all the time, I think they're just going to play over top and play long.
People will see that straight away with Cucurella going all that way, man marking the player. They will see that, they will spot that, and they'll definitely capitalise on that. You know, because you had that. I couldn't believe that when I just watched that. You know how far he went in and just left.
He wasn't exactly sure either, was he? He was thinking.
He had a few thoughts that went even further. Yeah. You know, so that will get highlighted by the opposition, no doubt.